I, 55M, live in Michigan with my wife, Angela, 53F. We've been together for over 3 decades, and I always believed we were doing the best we could as parents. We raised 2 kids. Rachel, 29F, our daughter who now lives in Columbus, Ohio, with her husband and their adorable 2-year-old, and Chase, 27M, our son, who until very recently was living in our basement, unemployed, angry at the world, and somehow convinced that the universe owed him more than it gave. I'll be honest with you, this story didn't start ugly. Chase was a decent kid growing up. Quiet, a little awkward, but sweet. He loved books, was decent at drawing, and used to talk about becoming a concept artist for video games. That dream faded fast when he dropped out of college in his 3rd semester, citing creative burnout and toxic academic structures. At first, we didn't panic. Angela and I thought maybe he just needed some time to recalibrate. He moved back home. We made space, gave him emotional support, told him there was no shame in taking time to figure things out. That was 4 years ago, and in those 4 years, he's done nothing. No degree, no job, no internships, no side hustles, not even volunteering. We've suggested everything you can imagine. I offered to help him get a job at my buddy Kevin's car detailing business. Angela tried to connect him with her cousin Jenna, who runs a local indie bookstore. We offered to help write his resume, pay for therapy, even offered to pay rent on a shared apartment if he moved out and started working part-time. Every suggestion was met with the same eye rolls, sarcasm, and accusations that we just don't get it. He says he's not lazy, just misunderstood. Says he's between passions. Claims he's working on a graphic novel, though I've never seen a single page. Most days, he sleeps in until 2 p.m., spends hours in the basement gaming or doom-scrolling through Twitter and TikTok, and emerges only to microwave frozen pizza rolls or grab his Uber Eats order off the porch. He does 0 chores. When we ask him to contribute, even just take out the trash or mow the lawn, he says things like, "Why should I do unpaid labor in a house I never asked to be born into?" Or worse, "Your generation created this system. Don't expect me to clean up your mess." Angela used to defend him more, saying he was just going through something. But even she started getting fed up when he snapped at her one night for asking him to rinse his dishes. He actually said, "I'm not your housekeeper. Stop trying to control me like I'm some kid." That was the moment I decided something had to change. So 2 weeks ago, we sat him down, me and Angela, and laid it out. Calm, but firm. I told him, "Chase, you're 27. You've been living here rent-free for 4 years. We've supported you emotionally and financially the entire time. But that support has to come with boundaries. You have until July 1st to either get a job and start contributing to the house, or move out." He stared at us like we'd just told him we were disowning him. "No warning," he said. "Just get a job or get out?" Angela tried to soften it. "Honey, we're not kicking you to the curb. We're just saying we can't keep enabling this. You're capable of more than this." And then, the meltdown. Chase stood up, face flushed, fists clenched, and started yelling. I knew this would happen. You pretend to care, but the second I set boundaries, you try to punish me. This is why people go no contact with their parents. You're emotionally abusive, and now you're abandoning me. He stormed off, slammed his bedroom door, aka our basement, and blasted music for hours. I figured it was just a tantrum. He'd cool off. He didn't. Instead, 2 days later, Rachel called me. She was furious. "Dad, have you seen what Chase posted on TikTok?" "No," I said. "I don't follow him." "Well, maybe you should, because half the goddamn internet thinks you're a narcissistic monster." Turns out, Chase had posted a nearly 3-minute video of himself sitting in the dark, eyes red and puffy, soft piano music in the background. In the video, he talked about how his abusive father was evicting him for being neurodivergent and unemployed. He called me controlling, manipulative, emotionally cold. He said I never supported him creatively, that I only cared about money, and that I was trying to destroy his spirit. The comments were full of strangers calling me every name in the book. Boomer trash, toxic patriarch, classic narcissist, get therapy, old man. One person even commented, "I hope you die alone." I would have laughed if it didn't hurt so damn much. Because this kid, my son, had painted me as a villain to thousands of people without a shred of context. Rachel was livid. She posted a response video defending us, explaining how much we'd supported him, and how he was twisting reality. But Chase doubled down, made another video saying Rachel was brainwashed by capitalist ideals and weaponizing her success to shame others. And then the family drama started spilling over into real life. Angela's sister, Lauren, texted her something nasty. "I don't know who you two think you are, but abandoning your child in this economy is cruel. What happened to unconditional love?" Angela cried that night. She felt like a failure. She kept saying, "What if we're wrong? What if we are pushing him too hard?" But I couldn't shake the truth. We've given Chase every opportunity, every safety net, every chance to change. And instead of growing up, he's chosen to weaponize his victimhood and drag us through the mud online. Now, it's a countdown to July 1st. He's still in the basement, still sulking, still refusing to talk to me unless it's sarcastic. Yesterday, he told Angela, "I'm documenting everything. When I write my memoir, people will know how I was treated." She cried again. "I don't even know how we got here. I used to dream about watching my son build a career, a family, a life. Now I'm Googling local eviction laws and trying to figure out if I'll need to call a sheriff if he refuses to leave. AITA for finally giving him the ultimatum?" It's been 2 weeks since the TikTok videos dropped, and the fallout hasn't slowed down. If anything, it's gotten worse. I didn't think things would spiral beyond a few hundred angry strangers on the internet. I figured people would move on to the next drama. But Chase? He doubled down, tripled down. He's turned this into a full-on content arc. He's now posted 7 videos in total, each one more melodramatic than the last. In one, he's crying softly while reading comments aloud about toxic parents. In another, he plays a voicemail I left him last year, asking him to clean up the garage, which he says was aggressive. He overlays it with captions like, "Emotional Manipulation 101. I'll admit, I didn't know how bad it had gotten until one of my coworkers pulled me aside at lunch. 'Hey, not to overstep, but is your son Chase on TikTok?' I nodded. 'Yeah, man. You might want to check what he's posting. My daughter follows him.' She thought he was making it all up, but then she saw a family photo in the background and said, 'Wait, that's real.' I went home that night and made a TikTok account. Against Angela's advice, I watched every single video, and it made my blood boil. In the most recent one, Chase sits on the couch in the basement, looking disheveled, soft lighting behind him, talking directly into the camera. It's hard being the scapegoat of your family. When you're sensitive, creative, neurodivergent, and your parents only care about power and appearances. They see me as a burden. Not a human. Not a son. Just a failed investment." He's got over 180,000 followers now. Apparently, he's found an audience among gentle parenting TikTok and children of narcissist accounts. They're eating it up. I'm getting emails now. Emails. Some anonymous person found my work contact and sent a message with the subject line, "Does your company know you abuse your child?" Angela can't even open Facebook anymore. Her inbox is flooded with relatives, old friends, and random lunatics saying things like, "How can you sleep at night? Why did you even have kids if you were going to destroy them? You're going to die alone and unloved." I tried reaching out to Chase directly. I texted him, "We need to talk. Not online. Not through videos. Face to face." He replied, "I'm not safe around you when you're angry." I wasn't even angry when I texted him. Angela's having a harder time than me. She cries every couple days now. She blames herself for coddling him all those years, for trying too hard to protect his feelings instead of pushing him to grow up. She said something heartbreaking last night. What if we raised someone who hates us? We're both starting to dread July 1st. Not just because we might have to physically remove our son from the house, but because I have no idea what he'll do when we follow through. Will he try to turn the whole thing into content? Will he livestream the eviction? Post a video titled, "My parents just threw me out." Watch it happen live. He's already recording us without our consent. A few days ago, Angela walked into the basement to do laundry, and Chase had his phone propped up on a mini tripod, recording her. When she asked what he was doing, he said, "Gathering evidence. For my protection." Then uploaded a clip of her asking him to fold his own laundry, with the caption, "More guilt-tripping. More control." I didn't even know what to say when she told me that. Things have gotten even more complicated with family. Angela's sister, Lauren, is rallying support behind Chase. She made a post on Facebook saying she's proud to stand with her nephew, and that family isn't about blood, it's about love and support. She's now threatening to take Chase in and get him real help. Which, okay, go for it. But when Angela called her to ask if she was actually willing to house him and financially support him, Lauren immediately backpedaled. Well, not permanently. He needs healing, not pressure. Rachel's been a rock, thank God. She's completely on our side, even more furious than we are, honestly. She tried to comment on one of his videos, but Chase blocked her. He messaged her a few days later and said, "If you can't support my truth, you're part of the abuse." Angela keeps asking if we should try therapy as a family. I don't even know how that would work anymore. Chase doesn't trust us, doesn't respect us. He thinks we're tyrants for daring to expect basic adult behavior from him. I asked Angela, what exactly would therapy fix here? He doesn't want a relationship. He wants obedience. What scares me more is how calculated he's getting. He's not just emotional anymore. He's strategic. He's figured out what works online. This sad eyes and vague captions, formula. The quiet music. The loaded words like gaslighting, CPTSD, narc abuse. He's learned how to turn his followers against anyone who questions his version of reality. One woman dared to comment, "Your dad sounds like he gave you a deadline, not an eviction," and immediately got mobbed in the comments. Chase liked every hateful reply. Angela and I tried one last time to talk to him last weekend. We knocked on the basement door. No response. I opened it anyway and walked halfway down. Chase was at his desk, headphones on. I said, "Can we talk, please? Just us?" He turned around and said, "If you step one more foot down these stairs without my permission, I'll call the cops." I looked at him, truly looked, and realized I didn't recognize him anymore. This wasn't my son. Not the boy who used to build Lego cities in the living room. Not the kid who once asked for a telescope for Christmas because he wanted to see Saturn. This was a 27-year-old man weaponizing victimhood for likes. I backed up. I said, "You've got until July 1st, Chase. That hasn't changed." He stared me down and said, "Then you better get ready, because they're all going to see what you really are." I left the door open when I walked away. I didn't care anymore. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I lie awake at night thinking about whether I should have handled it differently, whether there's a better way. But all I know is that we gave him years of support, patience, and love. And now we're being crucified online because we finally set a boundary. Part of me hopes he leaves peacefully. The other part of me is bracing for full-blown digital war. He's not just filming content. He's crafting a narrative. And in his version, I'm the villain. The house doesn't feel like a home anymore. Every room is quiet in the wrong kind of way. Angela walks around like she's holding her breath. She avoids the basement completely now. Even the dog, Baxter, our old golden retriever, senses the tension. He used to scratch at the basement door whenever Chase was down there. Now he won't even go near it. The worst part? I started locking my bedroom door at night. I don't think Chase would do anything. But then again, I don't know what he's capable of anymore. He used to be my son. Now he feels like a stranger broadcasting our lives to an audience of digital pitchforks. Angela and I went to dinner last Friday to try and escape the atmosphere. Local Italian place. Glass of wine, soft lights, trying to pretend things were normal for one night. Halfway through the meal, Angela's phone buzzed. She looked down, went pale, and handed it to me. Chase had posted another video. This time, he was sitting in our living room, on our couch, with my wedding photo in the background. "This is what it looks like to be discarded," he says in the video. "I've lived here for 4 years. I gave up everything for this family, my college, my dreams, my mental health. And now they're telling me I'm worthless unless I produce labor for them." Funny how quickly love becomes conditional when it stops being convenient. Then he walks around the house, pointing to things we've bought for him. An old desktop computer, a shelf full of art supplies, even the microwave. As if these objects are proof we somehow owe him an indefinite existence here. Angela whispered, "Why is he filming in the living room? I thought he never left the basement." I just said, "He's not hiding anymore." It was clear he wasn't just sulking. He was escalating. The next morning, I found out he went one step further. Lauren, Angela's sister, had invited Chase to dinner. Without telling us. Without our knowledge. She picked him up from the house while we were out grocery shopping and took him to her place for what she called a safe space meal. She even posted pictures on Facebook. Her, Chase, her husband, their 2 teenage kids, all smiles around a dinner table. The caption read, "Family means being there, even when others turn their back." Red heart hashtag healing space hashtag chosen family. I confronted Angela when I saw it. You knew she was planning this? No, she said, eyes wide. She didn't say a word to me. I called Lauren immediately. She didn't answer. But Chase did. He texted me from her number. Stay out of my healing. You don't control who I see. Healing. That word again. Like he's coming back from a war we somehow waged on him. Angela finally broke down. She sobbed in the kitchen for almost an hour while I sat with her in silence. She kept saying, I didn't raise him to be like this. I didn't either. But here we are. That night, Rachel FaceTimed us. She was furious after seeing Lauren's post. Said she'd messaged Chase directly. He's lying to people's faces, Dad. Making you out to be some cold-hearted monster. I told him, you've had years of support. They didn't kick you out. They gave you an option and a deadline. Know what he said to me? What? You've always been Dad's favorite. You've never understood what it's like to feel unwanted. That hit Angela hard. Because the truth is, she was closer to Chase when he was younger. Rachel was more independent. Chase was sensitive, anxious, often needed more reassurance. Angela always gave it. Maybe too much. Now he's rewritten the past into a story where we were villains all along. The final straw came last Sunday. We got back from running errands and found the front door wide open. Not kicked in, just open. Angela panicked, thinking we'd been robbed. I walked inside, shouting his name. Chase was in the kitchen, shirtless, sitting at the table with a camera tripod and ring light set up, recording himself mid-rant. He didn't even flinch when I walked in. I asked him, why the hell is the door open? He said, I needed light for my content. What content? He didn't answer, just turned the camera slightly toward me and said, you can't intimidate me anymore. I snapped. I walked over, turned off the ring light, and yanked the phone off the tripod. That's it. No more content. You want to live here? You follow the rules. You don't record us. You don't post lies. And you don't turn this house into your goddamn stage. He screamed at me. Angela rushed in and stood between us. Chase started filming again on his second phone. Yes, apparently he has two now. And said into the camera, see how he talks to me? This is what I live with. I walked away. I had to. Because if I stayed, I don't know what I would have said or done. I called our lawyer the next morning. I hated doing it. Hated that it had come to that. But I needed to know, if Chase refuses to leave by July 1st, what are our legal options? She was blunt. He's not a tenant unless there's a lease. But if he's been here that long and receives mail, you'll need to give him formal notice. 30 days. In writing. Which means we should have served him weeks ago. Angela cried again when I told her. So I did what I had to do. I printed out a formal written notice, signed it, and taped it to the basement door. It says, Chase, this letter serves as formal notice that you are required to vacate the property by July 1st. You have no tenancy rights. If you do not leave by this date, we will proceed with lawful eviction procedures. I slid a copy under the door too. That night, he didn't come upstairs. But he posted again. Another dramatic video, this time with him holding the letter and whispering. They've finally made it official. My own parents are evicting me. Just sit with that for a moment. The comments? Brutal. How can a parent do this to their child? Late-stage capitalism has broken people's souls. They'll regret this on their deathbeds. Angela hasn't slept since. But me? I've crossed a line in my head now. A red line. I'm not backing down. Not this time. Chase thinks he's telling a story to the world, that he's the wounded hero and we're the villains. But he forgets something. He's not the only one who knows how to speak. And if it comes to it, I'll tell the world our side, too. June 27th. For days left. The air in the house feels heavier by the hour, like we're living inside a storm cloud about to split open. Angela has started sleeping in the guest room. She says she needs space, but I know what it really means. She's scared. We both are. Not of Chase lashing out violently, at least not in the traditional sense. No, it's more insidious than that. It's the threat of exposure, humiliation, public character assassination. Chase doesn't raise fists. He raises followers. He hasn't spoken a single word to me in person since I posted the formal notice on his door last week. But he's been talking plenty elsewhere. His TikTok account has become a non-stop stream of content. In the last 5 days alone, he's posted 11 videos. He's labeled them like some serialized documentary. The countdown begins, Day 5, pack or panic. Day 4, I woke up crying. Day 3, Mom came upstairs and I had a panic attack. Day 2. They're pretending it's not happening. Final day approaching. My heart feels like it's going to explode. They're all variations of the same thing. Him sitting in the basement, lit by fairy lights, whispering into the camera like he's reading a confession in a hostage video. The captions are all classic bait. I don't know if I'll survive this emotionally. They chose reputation over love. Unemployment doesn't mean I'm disposable. He's even added PayPal and Cash App links now. The worst part? People are sending him money. Angela showed me a comment someone left on one of his posts. I sent $50. Please stay strong. We believe you. Another said, use this to buy essentials when you're finally free from them. You deserve peace. He's monetizing his victimhood. He's found a way to make being kicked out into a personal brand. The house has split into territories. Angela mostly stays upstairs. I keep to the den or out in the garage. Chase lurks in the basement, emerging only at night like some ghost. We've stopped trying to interact. But then 2 nights ago, Angela broke. It was midnight. I was in bed, half asleep. I heard the back door creak open, and the hushed, trembling sound of Angela's voice. I followed it, found her sitting on the patio in the dark, wrapped in a throw blanket, phone in hand, tears rolling down her cheeks. I sat beside her. I feel like I'm abandoning him, she said. I brought him into this world, and now I'm just cutting him off. I wanted to comfort her, tell her we were doing the right thing. But all I could say was, we didn't abandon him. We gave him every chance. He threw them all back in our faces. She nodded, but I knew she wasn't convinced. That's the thing about mothers. The guilt doesn't fade, even when they know better. Then she showed me a message. From her cousin Emily, someone she hadn't heard from in years. Hey, I saw what's going on with Chase. I just want to say, we all support you. Not him. You've done more than most parents ever would. He's manipulating everyone. You're not alone. Angela started sobbing. It was the first moment of real validation she'd had from outside the family. The next day, things finally snapped. Chase came upstairs without warning. Angela was in the kitchen, trying to water the plants. He stood there in the doorway, filming with one hand, holding a duffel bag in the other. You happy now? He said. You broke me. Angela didn't answer. She looked like a deer in headlights. I'm leaving, Chase said. You win. I came into the room just as he started monologuing. Congratulations. You've officially joined the ranks of narcissistic parents who destroy their children's mental health and then play the victim. I hope your clean kitchen and empty house are worth it. I stepped between them. Enough. He pointed the camera at me. There he is. The real you. You're leaving because you made a choice. We gave you options. You rejected every one of them. You gave me ultimatums. That's not love. Love isn't letting you rot in a basement pretending to be a misunderstood genius. That's not parenting. That's enabling. He flinched. You never believed in me. No, I said. I did. But belief without effort is just a fantasy. You think the world owes you because you're sad? It doesn't. Angela whispered. Stop, please. But I was done being silent. You're 27, Chase. You're not a child. You're not some lost boy in a fairy tale. You're a man, one who refuses to grow up because the internet keeps telling you victimhood is a career path. He looked stunned for half a second, then the mask came back on. I'll post this, he said. Let people see who you really are. Good, I said. Let them. Maybe someone out there will finally tell you the truth. He left that afternoon. No dramatic farewell. Just disappeared into Lauren's silver SUV, which pulled up like some rescue convoy for the emotionally wounded. She waved at Angela through the window. Angela didn't wave back. We both sat in silence for hours afterward. The house felt haunted. No more footsteps overhead. No more late-night thuds from the basement. Just stillness. The kind that doesn't feel like peace, more like aftermath. Then came the final video. Chase, sitting in the SUV outside the house, tears in his eyes, clutching his duffel bag. This is it. I'm leaving. My parents chose image over family. I hope one day they see what they've done. Until then, I'll be healing somewhere that love doesn't come with conditions. He ended it with, to everyone who donated, thank you. You helped save me. The comments were a flood. You're brave. We're proud of you. F your parents. Rachel texted later that night. Let him go. He's not your responsibility anymore. Angela didn't reply. She just stared out the window. Me? I finally exhaled. Not because the storm passed, but because the worst part was over. Or so I thought. July 2nd. The house is quiet now. Too quiet. It's been just over 24 hours since Chase left, and if I thought the air would clear, the weight would lift, the silence would be peaceful. I was wrong. Because while Chase is no longer under our roof, his presence is everywhere else. The day after he left, Angela and I sat in the living room drinking coffee in silence. She was staring at her phone again, scrolling TikTok, not saying anything. Then she asked, "Have you seen it yet?" "What?" I said. "He posted it. The last one. The goodbye video." I braced myself and watched. It's cinematic. He filmed it like a short film. Music swelling in the background. Black and white filters. Video clips of him packing his bags. Supercuts of him crying in soft focus. Slow pans of the front of our house. Even a shaky camera shot of me closing the door after he walked out. He captioned it. "They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose to walk away. Healing begins today." By the time I watched it, it had already hit over 1.4 million views. The comments were exactly what you'd expect. "You are so brave. I see you. I was you. You are not alone. Your parents will regret this. You're better off." One person tagged their own mom and wrote, "Sound familiar?" That night, Angela got a message from her coworker. "Hey, just a heads up. Some of the parents at PDA are talking about your son's TikTok. I didn't say anything, but just thought you should know." Angela closed her laptop and walked straight to the bedroom. She hasn't gone into the kitchen since. Me? I've been taking long walks. I drive to the hardware store for no reason. I sit in the garage for hours with the door up, just watching the street like some retired detective in a crime novel. Rachel keeps calling to check in. She wants to come visit next week, bring the baby, get some joy back into the house. But joy feels like a foreign country right now. Chase's departure didn't end anything. It just moved the battleground. Yesterday, my boss called me into his office. He had a printed stack of papers on his desk. Reddit threads, tweets, even a screenshot of one of Chase's TikToks. "I'm not accusing you of anything," he said. "But HR flagged this. Someone filed an anonymous complaint, said you emotionally abused your adult son and created a hostile environment. Just want to be transparent." I sat there stunned. This wasn't just about family anymore. This was bleeding into my livelihood. I tried to explain the situation. Summarized 4 years of freeloading, manipulation, online theatrics. My boss listened, nodded slowly, then said, "Look, I believe you. But in this day and age, public image matters. I'm going to need you to take a few personal days. Let it cool down." That was the first time I felt real panic. Chase wasn't just telling a story now. He was spreading it, infecting the outer layers of my life. He had turned our family drama into performance art, and I was becoming the unwilling villain in a crowdsourced morality play. Angela got hit next. Her school district supervisor called. Apparently, someone emailed the board with a link to Chase's page and a question. Should someone like this be working with children? She's not even a teacher. She works in admin. Still, they advised her to consider a low profile for the rest of the summer. She cried again that night. Not in front of me. She waited until I went to bed. But I heard her in the hallway, whispering on the phone to Rachel. "I don't know how we move on from this. I don't know if we ever get our lives back." Meanwhile, Chase is thriving, at least online. His healing journey videos now have over 60K likes per post. People have started drawing fan art of him. Actual charcoal sketches of him staring dramatically into the distance, surrounded by phrases like "survivor" and "he chose peace." He went on a TikTok live last night with some soft-spoken trauma coach in California who kept calling him a beautiful spirit forced into an unsafe environment. And Chase? He nodded solemnly and said, "Yeah, I think I'm just starting to find out who I really am, now that I'm free." Then came the real twist. He launched a GoFundMe. The title? "Help Me Start Over, Escaping Abuse and Rebuilding Life." The goal? $10,000. Within 36 hours, he had $6,400. Angela stared at the screen like she was watching a man steal money from strangers in broad daylight. Is this real?" she whispered. I didn't answer. We sat in the dark, in our quiet home, the ticking of the clock suddenly deafening. And then the email came. From The Verge. Yes, the tech/media site. A reporter named Mia Caldwell reached out. Said she was writing a piece about generational trauma and digital storytelling. She said she wanted to include Chase's narrative. Asked if we'd like to offer a parental perspective for balance. Balance. Angela begged me not to respond. Let it die, she said. Don't feed it more oxygen. But I'm not so sure anymore. Because right now, the internet only knows his version. And if he's allowed to write the ending, maybe I should at least write the truth. July 4th, Freedom Day. How ironic. Angela and I skipped the cookouts this year. The fireworks felt like mockery. The whole neighborhood lit up while we sat in our living room with the blinds drawn, the TV muted, a barely touched rotisserie chicken on the counter. Neither of us said it out loud, but the silence had its own gravity. We are not free. Not from this. Not yet. I didn't sleep that night. Because earlier that day, The Verge article went live. Title: When Healing Goes Viral. The Son Who Chose to Walk Away. There it was, Chase's story, beautifully packaged for the masses. Clean font, black and white header image of him staring solemnly through a rain-streaked car window. It read like a case study in generational trauma. The opening line: when 27-year-old Chase Adler filmed himself leaving his parents' home after years of emotional neglect, he had no idea the world would be watching. Neglect. I read the whole thing, every word. They quoted his TikToks like gospel. Used screenshots of him crying in the basement. Even included a photo of the notice I taped to the door. He must have taken a picture before I found it crumpled on the floor. They described it as a chilling ultimatum delivered in writing. They didn't mention that it came after 4 years of freeloading. They didn't mention the job offers he rejected, the meals he screamed at his mother over, the insults, the manipulations, the surveillance videos he secretly took of us. None of it. Instead, the article asked experts, armchair therapists, online trauma bloggers, to weigh in. One wrote, "This is a textbook case of unprocessed intergenerational harm. Chase's emotional expression is not attention-seeking, it's survival." Another said, "When parents fail to provide emotional safety, the child doesn't grow. He fights, or he flees." Angela read the piece once, then again, then closed her laptop without a word. "I think they made me into a monster," she finally said. I nodded. Because they had. And the comments? You already know. Thousands of them. Cutting off abusive parents should be celebrated. This man is doing what we all should have done sooner. I wish I had his courage. And then came the tag. One of the comments included a direct link to my LinkedIn profile. Then someone posted my company's website. Then my Twitter, which I hadn't used in years. By morning, I had over 40 DMs. Some angry. Some insane. One said, "You should be in jail." Another, "The only thing sadder than your parenting is your face." Angela got 2 voicemails on the school landline before noon. One from an anonymous caller who muttered, "Hope you treat the kids at school better than your own." The other? A recording of one of Chase's TikToks, played over and over. It was time. I called Rachel. Told her everything. Told her I was done watching our lives get rewritten by a 27-year-old man-child with a tripod and a martyr complex. "I want to respond," I said. "Do it," she said. "But do it smart." So I did. That night, I wrote a letter. Not a rant. Not a scream. Just the truth. I posted it on Medium. Shared it under my real name. It began, "My name is David Adler. You may know me as the narcissistic father in a viral video. My son, Chase, has built a story, one that resonates deeply with people who've suffered real trauma. But I'd like to offer another story, the one that hasn't gone viral. Yet." I laid it out. Everything. How Chase moved back home at 23. How we paid for therapy, groceries, housing, and tech. How he refused to work, refused to clean, refused to engage like an adult. How he weaponized mental health language to dodge accountability. How he filmed his own mother doing laundry and posted it online with captions like manipulation tactics. I didn't insult him. I didn't mock him. I just told the story. And then I ended it like this. If you want to hate me, I won't stop you. If my face reminds you of pain your own parents caused, I can't control that. But Chase didn't leave a prison. He left a house that fed him, clothed him, and asked only that he grow. And the day he left, he didn't walk away from cruelty. He walked away from expectations. I didn't expect much, but it exploded. Within 2 days, my letter had 380,000 views. Not as flashy as TikTok. No music, no filters. Just words. And then the tide started to shift, just a little. People began posting. This is the other side I was waiting for. Why didn't the media interview him? Both stories matter. But damn, this changes things. A few even started commenting on Chase's page. Your dad posted a response. You might want to read it. Chase blocked the word medium from his comments. Then he made another video. This one wasn't quiet. He was pacing, eyes wide, voice frantic. So my dad is trying to manipulate the narrative now. Classic abusive behavior. He wants control over the story. But guess what? I'm still here. Still standing. Still healing. But something was different. The comments weren't as unified. Some said, I read your dad's letter. I don't think he's the villain. Another, why not address the points he made instead of repeating buzzwords? He started deleting comments. And for the first time, he looked rattled. Angela read my letter 3 times before saying anything. Then she hugged me. Tight. You told the truth without hurting him, she whispered. I couldn't have done that. Rachel texted. It's not over. But now it's fair. And Chase? He's still posting. Still talking about narcissistic cycles and emotional violence. But the likes aren't as high now. The comments aren't as clean. The echo chamber cracked. I don't know if he'll ever come back to reality. I don't expect him to move on quietly. But I know this. The internet may be loud, but the truth is patient. And now it's out there. It's July 9th. 1 week since Chase left. 5 days since I posted my letter. For days since people started asking questions on his side of the internet. And now, the cracks are showing. It started small. A comment here, a comment there. Usually from people claiming to be social workers, or parents, or former Chases themselves. I related to your story at first, but your dad's version actually made sense. You said you were kicked out suddenly. He gave you 60 days. If he's as toxic as you say, why did you live there for 4 years? At first, he deleted them. Then he started blocking people. Then, brilliantly, tragically, he made a video titled, When Abusers Weaponize Logic. It's him, back in Lauren's guest room, voice raw with indignation, saying, they're trying to twist it. They always do. Don't let them gaslight you with timelines and receipts. Emotional abuse doesn't care about dates. It hides and smiles. It sounds like logic, but it feels like pain. The comments mostly supported him, mostly. But the ratio has changed. Where before it was 95% blind loyalty, now it's maybe 70. The other 30 are skeptical, curious, some even pissed off. Not at us, at him. Then someone unearthed an old Reddit account. Username at PerspectivePatriot27. Chase used to rant there under the radar before TikTok. People found dozens of posts from years ago. Complaints about his boss being a fascist, about toxic coworkers asking him to show up on time, about his deadbeat roommate who expected rent. People are analyzing the posts now, creating timelines. Threads. One user even wrote, every story he tells, he's always the victim. Parents? Bosses? Roommates? Therapists? At some point, you gotta ask the question. The question being, what's the common denominator? Rachel called me laughing, actually laughing. I can't believe Reddit is doing the detective work, she said. Honestly, I hope someone makes a docuseries. Angela isn't laughing. She's still tense, still fragile. But last night, she did something that caught me off guard. She reopened her Facebook. She posted a photo of our family, taken 5 years ago, before Chase moved back in. We're all smiling. Rachel holding a sparkler, Chase in a hoodie, Angela mid-laugh. Her caption, this is the family I still believe in. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. The post got hundreds of comments. All supportive. Old friends. Co-workers. People from church. Even some of Chase's high school teachers. One wrote, you were always kind. You were always loving. Anyone who says otherwise never really knew you. That night, Angela finally smiled again. For real. Not a mask. Not a performance. Just a small, private smile. Like some knot in her chest had finally loosened. But the peace was short-lived. Because Chase isn't done. 2 days ago, he posted what he called my final response to my father's lies. It's 11 minutes long. Starts with him sitting on a floor pillow, incense burning behind him, holding a cup of tea like he's about to deliver a TED Talk. I wasn't going to respond. But silence is complicity. And when your abuser uses eloquence to manipulate strangers, sometimes you have to reclaim the mic. Then he goes on a full emotional tour. Accuses me of writing the letter to protect my job and reputation. Claims I orchestrated a smear campaign. Says Angela collapsed emotionally because of years of my gaslighting, not because of him. Even accuses Rachel of being complicit in generational abuse. The word narcissist appears 11 times. He ends with, I forgive them, but I will not return. And if they want closure, they'll have to earn it, through accountability, not denial. The comments are mixed. Some still echo the old refrain. You're a hero. I believe you. Cutting toxic family is freedom. But others? You're losing me, man. This feels like a performance now. You forgave them in the same breath you called them abusers. Then something else happened. Unexpected, subtle, and damning. Lauren deleted her posts. All of them. Every support my nephew Facebook update. Every inspirational quote about family. Gone. Angela texted her asking why. No response. Then we heard from her husband, Todd. He called me. Hesitated a lot. Then said, look, we're not trying to take sides. But Chase has been staying here for a week, and it's been difficult. I didn't respond. He kept going. He doesn't clean up after himself. Complains constantly. Got into it with our daughter over the microwave. Lauren's trying, but she's tired. We're all tired. I asked him, has he looked for work? He sighed. Says capitalism is abuse. That told me everything I needed to know. Lauren texted Angela later that night. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I thought we were rescuing him. I didn't realize we were becoming his next villains. Angela didn't respond. She didn't have to. We both knew what that meant. The narrative is crumbling. Not because we fought harder, but because the truth held longer. And now? Now we wait. Not for revenge. Not for victory. Just for Chase to face himself, without a lens in the way. I'm not holding my breath. But I'm not scared anymore, either. July 16th. 2 weeks since Chase left. 1 since the article. 5 days since Lauren asked him to leave her house. He lasted 11 days under her roof. We found out not through her, but through a comment on Rachel's Facebook post. Someone wrote, saw Chase on the Green Line Trail. Backpack, camera, talking to himself. Rachel forwarded it to us. Angela reached out to Lauren, who confirmed it. We had to set boundaries. He didn't take it well. That was all she said. Set boundaries. Code for we couldn't do it either. Angela cried quietly in the kitchen. I didn't try to stop her. I just stood there with her. We didn't say anything. We didn't have to. Later that day, Rachel sent us another video. Chase's first in 4 days. That's an eternity for him. In it, he's sitting on the floor of what looks like a hostel or maybe a shared Airbnb room. The lighting is dim. His voice is quieter, less performative. Not all family is forever, he says. Sometimes, the hardest thing is realizing that the people who gave you life don't know how to help you live it. No crying this time. No dramatic music. No hashtags. Just that. And then silence. No comments enabled. No links. Just posted and left. Angela sat on the edge of the bed after watching it and whispered, he looks tired. And I said, good. Maybe for once he's not acting. That was the first time I felt something new in all this. Not rage, not guilt, not dread. Something like release. Later that week, we got a letter in the mail. An actual, physical letter. Folded inside a manila envelope. Return address, no name. Detroit. Inside, 3 pages. Typed. Signed at the bottom in messy black ink. Chase. I'll summarize it. It wasn't an apology. Not even close. It was a manifesto. He thanked us for providing the initial platform of survival. He accused us, again, of failing to nurture his identity. He claimed the internet backlash was proof we manipulated public perception better than he could. He said he was transitioning to a new phase. Less content, more truth. He included a Venmo username. Angela read it, folded it up, and tucked it inside the cabinet drawer with the warranty papers. She hasn't mentioned it since. I reread it a few times. There was a line that stuck with me. I can't come home again, not because of you, but because of who I let myself become in that space. I turned pain into currency. That was never your fault. That was the closest thing to accountability he's ever given. A week passed. Then 2. No more TikToks. No interviews. No GoFundMe updates. His Medium blog went private. We started opening the windows again. Angela started gardening. I repainted the garage. We let the silence grow into something else. Not fear this time. Stillness. Rachel visited. Brought the baby. We grilled burgers. We watched old home videos. There was one from a decade ago, Christmas morning. Chase unwrapping a telescope. Laughing. Hugging Angela. She paused the video. I want to remember that version, she said. I think we both do, I replied. It's July 19th now. This morning, I found something on the porch. A small brown package. No return label. Inside, a leather-bound journal. Blank. Wrapped in a strip of gray cloth. Taped to the front was a yellow sticky note. 2 words, scribbled. Trying again. No signature. But I knew the handwriting. Angela stared at it for a long time. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just placed it gently on the shelf by the stairs. We both looked at it as we walked past, like it was a door neither of us could quite open yet. And maybe we won't. Not now. Maybe not ever. But the point isn't that he sent it. The point is, he didn't film it. Maybe that means nothing. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the beginning of something that doesn't have a comment section. Final update. I never posted this to Reddit. Never posted my Medium link to TikTok. Never responded to interview requests after the piece blew up. I just wanted the truth out there. One version. Quietly. So here it is. Did I do the right thing? I don't know. But I did the necessary thing. And in a world where stories get warped, monetized, and weaponized, maybe necessary is enough. Ida, you tell me.